kitties. Whoopa. Shit, Jesus Christ, what's happening? All right. Almost stopped recording. What the hello? This video has been in making for some time. Like, even my goddamn recording program is shutting down on me. I want to record this video. Listen, universe, I want to record this video. I have been, you guys, you have been asking for this for such a long time. It was PHARITA and RORA on the Wendy Show. I love Wendy to death. She is one of my favorite people in K-pop. From my absolutely biggest heart people, I have Hwasa, I have IU, and I love Wendy. I have a super soft spot for Wendy specifically. So I feel like Wendy can create such a safe space for people. She is such a safe space person. I think that's why she's just an incredible host. I love her interviews because she just has that empathy. I also am super excited that we are seeing RORA and PHARITA. I am super happy that they are getting their time to shine. Let's get to the video, but before we do, please do not forget that I have still a couple of slots open for vocal analysis before Christmas. So if you would like to start your singing journey, and you would like to start it with me, I would love to accompany you. And if you would like to start singing with me, definitely check my vocal analysis. It's going to be down in the description. And now, without any further ado, let's look at Babymonster on the Wendy Show. PHARITA and RORA. I actually have no idea what they're going to be singing, so it's going to be the biggest surprise for me as well. Let's go. I'm actually super surprised to hear Aurora like this. She's usually much more kind of drawn back in her singing. She has a very elegant, soft type of singing, if you know what I mean. But this is very different from what we're usually hearing from her and Babymonster. I'm super excited to hear her like this because in Babymonster, she very usually has sometimes like the opening growls to the songs. So she has like a softer intro. And usually I hear her mixing a little bit more air. So it's like usually like 50-50, right? She's also doing a little bit of fry here and there. So you've got that kind of that type of thing. Here, she's very direct, straight for the tone. She has a good vocal closure, so the tone has weight and has a clarity. And you can see that it is actually doing her very well. Like, this is really complimenting her voice because sometimes when we do not get enough vocal closure, the voice can get a little shaky, that can get a little unstable. But when we get nice vocal abduction, which means the vocal closure, we have so much more stability. The voice is bigger and the weight of it is really, really nicely showcasing itself in here. A nice projection too. Like, notice that she's not withdrawing her sound at all. No. Nice direct aiming of those tones. This is so nice to hear from her. She's only starting to mix a tad more air when she's doing that little run up in the head voice, which is good because she's softening the transition between the registers. I love that this Day 6 song is always used like such a flex, you know, on many talk shows and many music shows. They are using it for that like kind of lifting the key challenge. It's such a difficult song actually because of that run. Because it's mixing such a belty space with very very high head voice, right? So it can be pretty difficult. Oh my God, look at her. She looks so cute.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm more right song.
This is interesting. A complete opposite for PHARITA, right? PHARITA usually has a quite connected, heavier tone. That's why her tonal quality is so well known, because like she's not really scared to show it. Here, she's mixing a little bit more air and only really had a nice connection when she developed that tone. Da, na, 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 na. You can hear the amount of air with me as well. Da, na, 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 na. And only getting into that closure. Da, na, 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 against the end of that phrase. It really helped her to build the dynamic across the phrase.
My power's turned on, starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song.
Yeah, she's having a full nice close tone here. I like it.
Be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
Look how relaxed they look. I'm blaming it on Wendy 100% because I just know she's creating the best of the surroundings. But I really liked the top onsets of the tones here.
'Cause I've still got nobody else believe. And I don't really care.
And I don't really care. Look how she is utilizing that duh. I don't really care. Don't really care.
If nobody
And the N as well. So good utilization of the consonants. I don't really care. Nobody else. So nah, da. Really good onset on the tone for that mix.
else believe.
And she relaxed that E because when you have that onset, don't really care. Nobody else believe. It can really easily get close into that little mosquito sound. And we don't want that. But listen how she relaxed that E so she wouldn't lock it there. That's where we want to be at best.
And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
And a cute little half airy intro, outro. Ooh, Ailey song. Ailey songs are hard.
Going higher 나 막을 수는 없어 내가 가는 이 길에 더 이상 두려움은 없어 Going higher 내가 바라던 순간
Every time I want to show someone, either my students or whoever, of how a good vocal closure looks like, that's Wendy. She knows how to dose her songs as well. Like, that's not ever an issue. Like, she can give us a very light tone as well, but usually clean. But she has such a beautiful vocal closure, and it's allowing her to be really strong across her whole register. She has thankfully also really gorgeous tonal quality to combine with that, you know, like really bright and very positive. But you're not gonna catch her slipping on early underutilizing the proper vocal abduction, you know. And her beautiful vibrato. I actually like the little flip before she get into the beautiful vibrato there, but a little bit of a flip in the head voice, like almost undetectable. Very quick. It was so pretty. how smooth is her work across the registers, right? Like it's been hard to recognize where, because she's not struggling to really mix them, and she's really not struggling to move between them. And the higher she goes, she actually really dwells on the closure being very stable. So goddamn good. She is a technician. She's like vocal athlete, quite literally, but she studied singing, and she, it's a person that you can tell that she's been learning and perfecting the craft for years. She's not a rookie. She's one of the people that I'm persuaded at, like, up until today, still work with either vocal coaches, because there's like a misconception that only people who do not know how to sing work with the vocal coaches. It's not true. Some of the biggest names in industry still have vocal coaches. Celine Dion still have a vocal coach. Like, people work with vocal coaches deep into their career, some for their whole singing life, right? Because it's very, very helpful. And Wendy even was in a position of a vocal coach. Like, I think there was a show where she was sharing some of her singing techniques and helping people to sing better. And she would be actually a stunning vocal coach. I'm very persuaded about that, because her technique is just immaculate. But I feel like she's like a singing geek. She studied it up, down to the T, because it's really hard to find anything, absolutely nothing. Like, she is the one for the books, If you would have someone in the books for the technical perfection, it 100% would be Wendy, Did you hear the dynamic? You know how hard that is to really cool down the tone from such a big one to really small without having air mixed in. So she cooled down the tone into a really tiny one, but clean. It's very difficult. Like, good singers very frequently do these dynamic exercises from big tone to really small, from small to really back to big, right? Because it requires insane amount of control. So pretty. And she does it effortlessly, just,
When tomorrow comes, I'll be on my own, feeling frightened of the things that I don't know. When tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes.
Oh, PHARITA has like a very light wail of huskiness on her voice. She does not have a very metallic, bright voice. She does have a little bit of a rounding in it, like a little earthy quality. But here it really shined through, right? Oh my God.
Tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes.
Sounds beautiful.
Though the road is long, I look up to the sky, and in the dark I found lost hope that I won't fly. And I sing along, I sing along, and I sing along.
I like it. Why she was able to anchor that song, sing, she flipped in the head with sing along, and went into the full tone as she reconnected, and it made such a pretty effect there.
I sing along, and I sing along. I got all I need when I got you and I look around me, see sweet life. Stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night.
I haven't heard the singing style from her yet, to be very honest. I'm quite surprised. It is very different. It is a little bit of an R&B. She has much more microdynamic there. So it's constant push and pull on that phrase. It's really nice.
Kiss down my heart when you're shining in my eyes. Can't lie, it's a sweet life. Stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me.
Even here, flashlight, flashlight. she's not only working with dynamic contrast, so louder and a little quieter, but also with a clean tone and airy tone. So she's building a lot of contrast there. It sounds very much different from whatever I've ever heard from PHARITA, actually. It's really cool.
Getting me through the night, 'cause you're my flashlight. You're my flashlight. You're my flashlight. Ooh, ooh, you're my flashlight.
She sang it beautifully. I mean, this part, specifically this song, like I've heard her do a variety of covers, but this might be one of my favorite from her, actually. The head voice, it's a nice embellishment, you know. They're very young. They have quite of a range in the upper register. So that's like a nice part of it. Cool. My favorite is really how she covered that chorus part and the verse of it. That was really nice.
Light, you're my flashlight, light, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard this, again, singing style from PHARITA. I really thoroughly enjoyed that, actually. Very different.
You're my flashlight.
You know, when PHARITA uses a little bit air mixing here and there, I do not like I do not prefer very heavy airiness in singing, specifically when it's just not like really contrasted with some clean singing, which she did exactly here, like push and pull and push and pull, you know. But for voices like PHARITA, they're really well complemented with a tad airiness because the huskiness is more prominent, you know. And at the end of the day, we all love a little bit of a husky voice because they're like milk and honey. They're so comforting, right? Like how metallic and bright voices can have that, you know, the drive and that punch. These type of like really rounded and husky voices have that comfort and earthiness and like this grounding feeling in them. I feel like people might find them incredibly comfortable. Do I know this song?
새로운 시작은 네 설레게 하지 모든 걸 이겨낼 것처럼 시간이 뒤쫓는 시계바늘처럼 앞질러 가고 싶어 하지.
With RORA, as I mentioned it recently a couple of times, like she has a really nice and stable low parts of a register, and it's just brought up more and more, which I'm actually quite appreciative of. I just was like, one thing that was missing for me was like, we have a nice lower register, we can use it, but I felt like I never heard her in a song, or she could cover her nice range from those low tones up to the high tones, if you know what I mean. So maybe this is the one, because we either have her singing higher or mid, or then I like that they started to utilize her. Oh, we have some low tones. RORA, where are you? RORA, come here. Let's hit those low tones. And for her youth, and for the fact that her voice is not generally like very low set, she has nice access to them, you know? So this is really cool that they can utilize her that way. I just wanted a song for her where I can hear it all. Hear the whole full register. We don't need to go to whistle. We don't need to whip out the highest of the tones, but like the nice part of like the chunk of her register, if you know what I mean.
어떤 이유도 어떤 변명도 지금
was exactly what I wanted from it, you know, like exactly this. Because if you can cover the lows, you can build a little bit more contrast in the range of the song, right? That's why, for example, Golden is just such an impressive song, because they're insane heights but they're insane lows, right? And suddenly the range of the song is not here, it's not here, it's like there, you know, it's massive, right? We didn't have to go into such extremes. I liked that the low tones were still resonant. She was not losing herself in them, because if you go too low, your color is gonna start to like go out, right? So they were nice and full, and she got to go into higher tones, and now you see that she created such a nice range for that song, right?
어떤 변명도 지금 내겐 용기가 필요해 다시 시작해
She used that wah. Wah is great vowel to open into your mix, like wah. It's a good anchoring vowel for the mix. It's a good entrance into it, just like the N and M vowel, N and M consonants. I'm sorry, W. It's a consonant, so it's a great consonant to get into that placement. N, M are more nasal ones, but also very good. But I really liked how she opened it there, and her voice just sounds so pretty. I like that the mix there was very tad of a mix. Of course, we need to go a little bit into the mix. That would be too high for us to really push from the chest only. We would be getting into the strain territory. So she mixed a little bit, but it stayed still very warm. So it didn't completely disconnect from her chest, or it didn't get into that really nasal placement or very compressed part. She stayed like really nicely connected to her chest still. Tone. I actually like when the range of the song allows you to play with the full chesty tones, get a little vibrato, and she waited for her vibrato and just give us a little bit towards the end. But K-pop overall is built too much for the vibrato, even though there are a lot of people who are doing that, of course. But I feel like the companies are more pushing on idols, specifically very young idols, to not use too much of a vibrato. It's kind of the singing style that's preferred right now. So I'm super happy that we got at least a tad bit of it at the very end of it, but still nice sustained tone. The short tones can be tricky. Na, 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 na. Gotta be really, really careful about the pitch there. This is such a perfect song for the range that I really wanted her to shine at. I didn't really need her to go super, 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 super high. I wanted her to stay connected to her chest, but give us a little bit of a mix and give us that nice and shiny open tone. Really pretty. Nice slow down to mixed a tad. Mr. Tad air into it at the very end, just to like soften the end of the phrase up a little bit. I really like this RORA. Like, I wish we got more of this RORA. I understand that, like, for me, the most important role that she has in Babymonster very often is actually the opener. I mentioned it today, right? But I really, really, really like when she is singing with her full tone, clean tone, a nice, a nice closure, and just really being able to not withhold that sound with a lot of that, which is the stylization that she is very often put into when she's singing for Babymonster. I love her with this free voice and beautiful projection. Like, it is, I'm in love with that RORA.
좀 어리긴 하지만 하고픈 일이나 가고픈 길 해야 할 일들까지 많으니까 우리 확신 속에 숨은 불확실함 우리랑 꽃말을 지닌 라일락 영원할 것만 같은 이 시간이다 던질게 청춘의 끝까지 날 깊이.
People are like, do you smile, do a lot for the sound. Oh my god, yes. Dun 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 and dun 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 dun. This is why the corners are so goddamn important, to have them up. Of course, like, you have a drop of a jaw. Every vocal coach everywhere are gonna be like, drop the jaw, because of the space of tone and other things. But the corners are going to create the brightness where you want it, right? So it can get a tad little bit of a twang. It can get a little bit of that. So when you want to sound a little sweeter, get us that goddamn smile.
무모했던 날에 날 데리러 언젠가 돌아갈 거라 믿어 푸르른 공기가 나를 사무친다 가득
Ooh, listen to the change. The first one, na 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 na, still very connected. Na 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 na. How much brighter that upper tone was, because she had to elevate it a tad bit higher and mix it a little bit more.
점이 되어버린 출발선에 무모했던 날에 날 데리러 언젠가 돌아갈 거라 믿어
Here.
푸르른 공기가 나를 사무친다 가득
Nagada. Much of a different placement from the first one.
하늘을 날릴 수 있을 듯한 밤이다.
It's very frontal. So, like the previous song, she was much more anchored towards the back. Now she's here. It's a little bit lighter. We do not get that much of a weight into the tone, but it's so much easier to move, and you can get a little bit more agility in that. With a song like this, with so much lyrics, like, I don't speak Korean, but the lyrics are cramped and there's a lot of movement in this song. You maybe do not want to go that heavy. So that's why I think she chose a little bit of a lighter pathway for that sound. She knows she's going to have to go for the higher tones. She knows that she needs easy access to them. And she knows that she's going to need a lot of agility. So there's going to be a lot of movement. So this is the best pathway to use. I would choose 100% as well. But the moment she has a longer tone, she immediately develops it, gives it a little bit more depth, and it finishes with a vibrato. So that's why she can afford to do. She can afford to do so much quick dynamic within such a short span, you know? has a very head mix. She's right there. It's most of the head voice, but she's getting a tad mix there. It's actually not a very heavy tone for me. Because of the placement, it can sound even a little heavier than it is for me when it comes to effort, right? You see the moment she has the longer tone, him and the she gives the vibrato in. Now she's getting a tad heavier in this last repetition. You've got a lot more vibrato that has much faster onset. That E was great there. Like you can pull that E into a little bit more heavier space. And a beautifully sustained tone. Listen to the change here. Those different placements there. So the first one, very frontal. And then, like you can literally see her switch. Hear her switch. So, such a technician, goddamn.
오늘은 웬디로
I love how the girly pups were super excited to be with Wendy, around Wendy. Everyone felt so relaxed and comfortable and having a goddamn good time. That's how it should be. I'm so happy that Wendy invited them. I heard actually RORA and PHARITA in like the style that I haven't heard from them before. So thank you so much for being so diligent with recommending me this one, because it was 100% worth it. It was amazing to see them just in a little bit of a different position and a little bit of a different sound, and having them being able to express themselves so freely, quite honestly, because it's very understandable. You know, when you are in a group, you are playing your role, and that's why I really love when vocal groups like Mamamoo, B2B, so many vocal groups, when they have the chance to send members out, and the members are like, yeah, I know I sing like this in my group because that's my position, that's the sound that they need from me. But let me show you what I'm into recently. And it is so nice to see, because they can bring up such an interesting stuff and such an interesting sound that you're like, oh, damn, where have you been hiding that? You know, like you didn't expect to hear that from them. It is super cool that, you recommended this for me. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe right here. Here is the video that YouTube actually recommends for you. And here are the rest of my reactions. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.